I'm going to show you guys how to set up the waterfall platen. First thing you're going to do is take off the form platen right here. So when you're setting this, you want it to line up right off of the front of the wheel here. Alright, just like that. Then we're going to go ahead and put the belt on. So one of the biggest things to make sure you don't have too much friction on the top is once you set a little bit of belt tension, you don't need a lot. I mean, you can see back here, very little tension on here. But you want to adjust your Morocco D plate so you don't want a gap here because then it'll grind the tip off of your blade. But you want it just barely touching right here. You don't want it bent too far because that creates a lot of friction and this heats up really fast that way. And it really causes some big tracking issues. So you want it just barely touching the surface, make sure there's no gap. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to turn it on. And you don't want to go real fast. I mean, I got this set about 20 on the VFD here. And then you want to start to adjust your tracking slightly. Alright, that's good there. Next you want to put on your misting system. I usually have it aimed right at the top here. Keeps a lot of heat out of the system so you can grind for longer and it doesn't overheat your plate or your blade. So the first thing you want to do is turn your air on. And then as far as the water goes, you want barely any water to come out. It should be a nice mist. It's not a flood coolant system. And then we'll go ahead and turn it on. Alright. So this attachment is really good for truing up your plunge lines on both sides to get those to match. And we can also use it to start changing the scratch pattern on the blade to parallel with the blade instead of perpendicular. Okay, so biggest thing with this is it's a finesse tool. You're not pushing hard on this. If you push hard, it's going to pinch the belt against the platen and cause the tracking to be thrown off. It's a very light touch. Another thing is you want to keep it moving while you're going so you don't get any weird flats or weird grind spots. And then you just want to take it up to that corner and just kind of bump it on there while you're moving across. You can see I'm starting to get close to that plunge and get everything cleaned up. It's also changing the scratch pattern on the blade that way. So as you can see, we evened up the plunge lines and you can see I'm already changing the scratch pattern on both sides. So it helps out with some hand sanding as well.